Hello again. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to another episode, or live, I guess, Wired for Crappie Live. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. If you guys don't care, say hello when you get on. Let me know where you're from. I see Mr. Larry Merrick. What's going on, Larry? Doing any fishing? Let's see, my computer just wigged out. Can you guys see me? I hope so. I got people texting me saying, "Where you at?" I guess it just showed up. I hope it didn't just show up because I've been on for about a minute now. And I don't know, my computer's acting up. It's acting funny for some reason. I'm not sure. Larry, can you see me? Hello, hello. All right. Well, let's see. Last weekend, did a little trout fishing. That was fun. Didn't catch a whole lot of trout, but did a little trout fishing. Caught a lot of creek chubs, a lot of tiger shiners. Caught a couple trout. Well, one little trout, and had a good one hooked, and he got up to the top of the lake and come off. So that was kind of depressing. Or top of the river, not lake, but it was a little depressing. So anyway, had a good time though. I am not seeing any comments. Normally by now I'm seeing comments. I'm starting to think maybe something's not right. Chris, are you on? Normally Chris is on by now. I don't see him. I don't see anybody. Hang on, getting a call. Yellow. I don't see any comments. I am not seeing the comments. Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out the comments right now. Where are they at? Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on then. But all right, guys, I can see the comments now. I hope that I didn't lose you guys. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties there with the computer. For some reason, none of my comments are showing up. I saw Larry Merrick, and that's it. So, all right, let's get started. Sorry, 5 minutes wasted. All right, so we got Larry Merrick, Buck Chaser, hello. Josh Sanders, hello. Dun, 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 dun. Who we got? Dave Hepp, hello. Sam Lane, Eddie Gregg, Steven, Mr. Chubbs, he said. Let's see here. Hang on, I missed a comment. Good evening, Josh. Good evening, Buck Chaser. Northwest Georgia, Dave Hepp, hello. Now that I'm fixed, I don't know what was going on, guys. It's like it froze on me. Josh can see me now. Had some ads. Yeah, YouTube likes their ads. Robert said he can see me. So you guys could see me, but I couldn't see any of your comments. But we're fixed now. We're good to go. Morristown, Tennessee, Mr. Eddie. Creekwater Crappie Company, hello. Michael from Texas, hello. There's Chris. Sleep at the Reel. Ashley Coffee, what's up? No fishing for him. Inshore fishing Puerto Rico. Hello, Wired fam. Greetings from Cumming, Georgia. Chesapeake, Virginia. Mr. Raxan, hello. Hope I said that right. Michael Lawrence from Greensboro, North Carolina. Stephen, we are all in the ghost tree. That's funny. That's a LiveScope joke for those that don't have LiveScope. That's a good one. Matt Scotch, still liking the braid. Yes, I am still liking the braid. I will say that it's not a good casting bait. Well, it's not a good pitching bait. It casts, but it won't pitch. Just a little flick of the wrist pitch. Braid doesn't really like that with a 16th ounce or 32nd ounce jig. So for that type of technique, I use mono still, but when I'm fishing brush, I do fish braid a little bit more now. So I do like braid a little bit more. Terry Landry, good evening. Sean Bradford, hello. Middle Tennessee, JT's All Outdoors, how's it going? It's good to see you as well. Jackie Jordan, hello. Oh, Larry, hang on, guys. Went back to a couple spots I had thought was loaded with crappie, some red worms, and a number 4 hook. Showed that Matt was correct. Lots of bluegill. It was 10 worms to catch 1 fish. Thank you, Larry. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you're new and you don't know what super chats are for an opportunity for you guys to put back into the channel. It gives you an opportunity to donate to the content that I'm putting out for you guys. Content is not cheap, I promise you that. And YouTube, nobody's going to get rich off YouTube, not us crappie guys anyway. But thank you, Larry. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. And if you guys didn't catch the live last week, we went through some things last week where I took side imaging shots and went through what I look at on side imaging, how I decipher a side imaging image. It was a really good live. There was a lot of people that contacted me after that. Thank y'all so much for contacting me after that live and saying thank you and telling me how much you enjoyed that live. We're going to do it again. I didn't want to do 2 in a row, but we're going to do some more. I'm going to get some more shots for you guys, maybe some different fish and some different type of structures, maybe some stake beds and some stumps and some different type stuff. I'm going to try to get some of those images and we'll do that again, okay? So thank you, Larry, and I'm glad you went back. I'm glad you got on some of those fish and actually found out they were bluegill. So, one thing I want to say is, there's a lot of people right now that are talking about they're seeing fish on their live scope or their side imaging or their down imaging, and they're not catching fish. A lot of times the fish you're seeing on brush during the summer, okay, are not crappie. Think about it like this. In the springtime, when you're fishing brush and you see fish, they're generally always crappie. Well, that's because in the springtime, bass are on bed, bluegill are on bed, crackers are on bed, a lot of crappie are on bed. But everything's kind of up on the banks. So when you're looking at brush, a lot of times, crappie will spawn in brush, right? We all know that. They'll spawn in brush. Bluegill won't spawn in brush. Shell crackers don't spawn in brush. Not to say they won't make a bed under a brush pile, but generally they're on the bank making their beds, right? Everybody's seen a bluegill bed or shell cracker bed. So they're up in bass beds. They're up on the bank making beds. Crappie don't care to spawn on a 6, 7, 8. In some lakes, in some clear lakes, they'll even spawn out as far as, in my opinion, 10 feet, 11 feet, 12 feet. It just depends on how clear the lake is. It depends on, your climate and your water temperatures and how fast they rise or raise. And a lot of it has to do with TVA in the Tennessee Valley, okay? They lower and raise our lakes constantly. And I think the fish have adapted to that lowering and raising of the lakes. And I don't think the fish in East Tennessee spawn in a foot of water or 2 foot of water. Like on a lot of these reservoirs or a lot of these lakes and other areas of the country, they'll get up there where you can almost see their back and spawn. I don't think they do that in Tennessee. Not to say you can't find fish that shallow, but I'm a firm believer that I think they spawn deeper than that. So I think they've adapted to the lake level fluctuations, and I think that they wait for that temperature to be right at the depth that they're going to want to spawn in. So, but anyway, that being said, I don't know where all I was going with that, but yeah, that being said, a lot of times in the summer, because all those fish aren't on the bank, they're back out on brush. So a lot of the stuff that you're seeing on brush right now, you're going to pull up there, you're going to see it on your side imaging or your down imaging, and go, oh, there's fish there. Cool. You're going to stop, you're going to try to fish, and you're going to say, oh, well, crappie won't bite. That's because they're not crappie. The one thing in the summer that I tell everybody, I say, move, 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 move. If you pull up to a spot that has fish on it, and you throw in there and don't get bit, if you make 5 casts and don't get bit, move. Don't stay there any longer. Get out of there. They're rather striped, bluegill, or active or inactive crappie. So get out of there. Go somewhere else. Go find more fish. You'll have more success, and you'll have a better day on the water. Okay. So anyway, that is my soapbox for the evening. See ya. No, I'm just kidding. All right, where was I? I got a new cup. Check that out. That is the Silly Print cup. It's a Silly Print silicone. It's kind of weird. See how flexible this is? It's actually kind of nice. I like it. It's heavy. It's a nice cup, bonehead cup. It's pretty cool. It's like a marble cup. It's really neat. I like it. New cups, bonehead tackle, and they're not that expensive. I think they're about $12 for the cup, and if you use the discount code Crappie 2020, which is the discount code for Wired for Crappie, Crappie 2020. Gets you 15% off all your bonehead tackle. That includes the cup. That's cups, hats, shirts, jigs. There are a couple things on the site that Crappie 2020 won't get you a discount on. Rods, I think, are one of them. But pretty much everything at Bonehead Tackle, Crappie 2020 will get you 15% off, guys. And they've got a couple different colors. Actually, my wife has the other one, the other color. It's like a green and blue, and I think it's green, blue, and black. It's really cool. It's a lot brighter than this one. So I got that one for my wife. She loves it. So anyway, doesn't love the fish, but she loves the cup. It's a win-win. I got to order cups. Let's see. I got to find my spot again. You guys know me. I get lost about every 5 minutes. We're getting close. I see some comments that I answered. Do. Matt C, good evening from Alabama. Robert Johnson, South Arkansas. Hello. Grant Bailey, how's it going? The Blacker 777. Hey, Mr. Matt. Hello, sir. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, guys, I'm reading some of your comments here. Yeah, guys, if y'all don't care, hit the like button. If you like what we're doing and you like the lives and you like the information that we're giving out, hit that like button. That lets YouTube know that it's good content. YouTube, again, uses an algorithm. So the more likes you have on your content, the more apt they are to say, hey, here's a suggested live from somebody, and there's a bunch of people that were talking about crappie and they liked it, and here, watch this. We suggest this video for you. And then more people get involved. So smash that like button for me if you don't care, guys. Steven says, if you missed last week's live, go back and watch it tomorrow. It was a good live, I think. I really enjoyed doing it, and I think everybody enjoyed the information. So Michael Lawrence, thanks for the information on 360 versus live scope. You are very welcome, sir. So I answered a question on Asleep at the Reel on Chris's live Monday. There was a question that was, what is the difference between Humminbird 360 and live scope? And the answer to that question is, so Humminbird 360 is just what it says. It's a transducer that spins 360 degrees in a circle, okay? So you get a picture 360 degrees around your boat, okay? So let's say this is our boat, okay? My GoPro is our boat. You're going to get a picture as this transducer revolves around that camera, okay? So if you're sitting in the front of your boat and you're fishing out to the front, let's say there's a brush pile out in front of you, you're going to get that transducer comes across and you're going to get a picture. And it's going to be a still picture that's going to be, again, still picture that's going to be out in front of your boat. And until that makes a full revolution around again, you won't get another picture. So it's not a live image. It's just a snapshot of what's around your boat. Then when it spins around again, you get another snapshot, and then you get another snapshot. So if you're trying to cast to an individual fish and you cast out, you're not going to be able to see your jig fall because it's not a live image, okay? Live scope, yes, you can only see in one direction. Yes, it's only 20 degrees of view, but it's live. So when I have that 20 degrees, whether it's out in front or out to the right or out to the left, wherever that transducer is pointing, I've got a live image that if a fish moves 6 inches, I can watch him move 6 inches. If my bait falls and it's falling 10 feet down, I can watch that bait from the time it lands on top of the lake to the time it gets to 10 foot down. So that's the difference in 360 and live scope. 360 is not going to give you a live image. It is only a picture. It's basically down imaging that circles your boat. Okay, and it just paints it on the screen in a different manner. So you're going to get a round picture instead of a down picture. Okay, but it's basically down imaging that circles your boat. Ashley, I'm not putting that up there, buddy. I don't want to have to embarrass you, man. No, we had a good time. Yeah, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Mo Crappie, hello. Jason Blair, what's up? All right, Sam has a question. Hey, Matt, I was watching Richard Jean shoot docks. He says gold is the best color to use around summer docks. Do you agree? No, I do not. Guys, keep in mind when you're watching YouTube, okay, when you're watching guys that are fishing, if they're not fishing the same lakes you are, take the colors that they're using with a grain of salt, okay? Bait profile, and when I say bait profile, I mean size and shape. So your bait size and your bait shape, I would pay attention to that. But when you're watching YouTube, guys, don't pay attention to color. I mean, everybody's going to tell you what color they use. I'm going to tell you what color I use. If you're fishing the same lakes that I fish, pay attention to the color I use. If they're not fishing in the same area, don't pay attention to that. The reason being, Richard Jean fishes Weiss and Gunnersville a lot. He fishes other places too, but Weiss and Gunnersville are his home lakes. So I can tell you right now, I can assure you 100% that Weiss and Gunnersville are dirtier lakes than what we have here in East Tennessee. So no, gold is not a go-to color for me any time of the year. I don't fish with gold in East Tennessee at all. So that's because as I've told you guys before, I'm not a firm believer in color. I believe in contrasting more than color. So I look at the water clarity and I look at the water color and I try to contrast that. And I want, for clean water, I want a clear bait. For dirty water, I want a bright bait or a dark bait. Dirty water, I want a black or a pink or a gold or something like that for dirty water. But we don't typically have a lot of dirty water in East Tennessee, especially this time of year. This time of year, you're really not going to have a whole lot of dirty water. You will get more dirty water in the fall and in the spring when you get the rains. But still, I don't use gold. I'll use black and chartreuse, but not gold. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you're watching YouTube, okay? It's all well and good, and I love that everybody tells what colors they're using and says, you got to use gold under docks, you got to use this under docks, but just remember where they're at geographically, okay? Blake Hawk, what's going on? Blake says, hey guys, nice cup, no pink in stock. Pink what? Cups? I don't think they have a pink cup, do they? I don't know. Maybe they do. I thought I saw the green and the white. They may have released a pink since I got mine. I'm not sure. Somebody go look. Tell me if they got pink. One other summer fishing tip. Let me give another summer fishing tip. Somebody may ask about this. If you do, I'm going to go ahead and answer it now. Thermocline. There's a lot of talk about Thermocline. Most of the time, this late in the year, it's almost August. If your lake's going to set up a Thermocline, it's set it up. Okay, and if it hadn't, it's getting ready to. So if you see a thermocline on your, and what it is it's a layer of dense water, okay, on the bottom of the lake. And it could set up at 20 feet. It could set up at 14 feet. It could set up at 30 feet, 34 feet, 31 feet. You don't ever know where it's going to really set up, okay? But when it sets up, always fish above the thermocline, okay? So if I'm telling you guys fish 20 to 25 feet of water and you get out there and you see a thermocline on your lake, Douglas is one that always has a thermocline. Cherokee has a thermocline. Tellico will have a thermocline at times. Loudon, I've seen them on Loudon before, but it's rare. And then Chickamauga, I hadn't seen a thermocline on Chickamauga. So anyway, a lot of your deeper reservoirs will set up a thermocline. If you see that thermocline at 18 feet, and I've told you for 3 weeks, fish 20 to 25, you've got to relocate and fish above the thermocline, okay? Now, one thing that will put fish shallow in the summer, okay, is thermocline. If your thermocline is at 18 feet, your fish are going to stay above it. I've never seen one as shallow as 12 feet, but I'm just using this as an example. If you see a thermocline, a hard thermocline at 12 feet, fishing in 8 to 10, because that's where the fish are going to be, okay? They're going to pull up above the thermocline. That dense layer of water, and on a depth finder, I'll get a photo of what the thermocline looks like for you guys and show it to you next week. That dense layer of water is dead water. There's absolutely no oxygen. There's not going to be any bait fish. There's not going to be any. I mean, if you see something in that thermocline, I promise you it won't stay there long because it's dense, dead water. So fish are going to locate themselves above that. So that is an exception to the rule as far as fishing deep in the summer. Let's see here. David Wall, hang on a minute. You just popped up top. Where you at, David? Where you at, David? There he is. David Wall, what's up, Matt? Thanks for the Navionics help. I have more questions, and I need to get you to Conroe to show me how to catch them on docks. David, first of all, buddy, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it very, very, very much. I assure you it'll help keep me on the water, making content for you guys, and it does not go unnoticed. It's a blessing to me. I do not take it lightly, and I appreciate you very, very, very much for the blessing, David. Thank you. Conroe, I'd love to come to Conroe. Conroe, I'd absolutely love to. And I'm sure at some point I will. I'm going to start doing some traveling. It's just hard for me right now, David, because I have 2 young boys, and with everything going on, and my youngest son, without saying too much, I'll say it. My youngest son is actually considered high risk. He, at 2 years old, had what is called Kawasaki's disease. And Kawasaki's disease, David, again, before I get into this story, thank you. I appreciate the super chat. It's a blessing, and thank you. And you're welcome for the Navionics help. So my youngest son had Kawasaki's at 2 years old. Kawasaki's is a very, very rare disease. It's similar to autoimmune, but they don't know what causes it. There's no test for it. There's absolutely nothing that they can do to confirm it. They have to literally test for everything else, and then just kind of say it's got to be that. It can't be anything else. So he was asymptomatic. He did not have all the symptoms of it. He had a few. At one point, my 2-year-old was unable to walk. My 2-year-old was bedridden for 10 days in children's. He was the white part of his eyes turned completely red. It's a disease that actually causes inflammation of the blood vessels, and it directly relates itself to the heart. And it causes aneurysms in the heart. So they don't know a whole lot about it. There's only about 1,200 kids a year that are diagnosed with it in the world, not country, in the world. And they don't know a whole lot about it. So, it was very tough. It was very hard for us. He is fine now, thank God. And it's a blessing for sure. They do know that you only have about 10 days to treat it. He received treatment on day 9, and his EKGs and everything came back good, but he's considered high risk because he had what they consider a heart disorder, heart problem. So he had to have EKGs on his heart and all kinds of good stuff. It was tough times to see your 2-year-old have to go through all that good stuff. So not good stuff, but bad stuff. Anyway, enough about that. But I would love to start traveling. It's hard with young kids, but I'm going to do it. And at some point, just right now, probably isn't the best time. But like I said, we'll get there. And if I make it to Conroe, I'll let you know. All right, Larry Merrick, what do we look for to see Thermocline? That's a good question, Larry, and thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. So Thermocline, you are going to get on your depth finder, okay, you're going to see nice black screen, and then all of a sudden you're going to see a layer of water. You're just going to see a line on the screen, and then under that line, you're going to see, I refer it to the old TVs when the cable went out and it's just fuzzy. If you guys have seen prop wash before, your screen's going to look like almost like prop wash. So it's just going to have a lot of clutter. There's going to be black water or clear water, You're not going to see anything, or you may see a little bit of stuff, but you're just going to get a line, and then it's going to be fuzzy. There's going to be a ghost fuzz that goes all the way to the bottom. That's your Thermocline. That's your dead area. Let's see if I can probably Google real quick and get a picture of the Thermocline. Thermocline on depth finder. Let's see if I can find an image to talk through. Really needs to be a down image or a side image. This one might work. It's green, but that's okay. Green won't hurt, right? Oop, where'd it go? Disappeared on me. Hang on. All right. So, Thermocline. What in the world? I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. I need an IT person. Any IT guys out there? Help! All right, here we go. So, let's see if I can do this where you guys can see it. So you see up here where it says 25, that's 25 feet, okay? you can see fish and you can see just good black screen right up here. And then from there down, I don't know why that's flashing. From 25 down, or about 27 down, you see that fuzz, that green fuzz? That's actually thermocline. That's all the dead water below the thermocline. Oops. So you can see in this image, the bait fish and the fish are where? The bait fish and the fish are above that thermocline. Okay? You don't want fish below that. All right? That's what you're looking for when you're looking for thermocline. That's a good question, Larry. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, guys, I'm going back up. Lost number 2. Michael, any news on wired stuff? Yes, I do have news. Without giving anything away, we are close. I'm looking probably middle of August, probably. I'm thinking we can get it done and get ready middle of August. We got some good stuff coming, and I think you guys are going to like it. So stay tuned. Bear with me. We're almost there. I mean, it's so close. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really good stuff. Thank you, Michael, for the question. Yes, it's coming still. I know it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's like, golly, really? Come on, Matt, hurry up. I know, but it takes time. I'm leaning on other people to get some stuff done, but they're working. They're working on it, and they're good people, and they're working hard. So, but it's an overtaking, really, to be honest with you. So again, I don't want to give too much away because I really think you guys are going to be excited about it. But it's give me a couple more weeks, couple more, and it'll be ready. Promise. Jason Blair says he sent a text to my phone. All right, so here's the question. Here's the question, guys. Here's the question. All right. So Jason says, if you have a friend named Jimmy who won't let you fish in front of the boat with him, how would you handle that? So that's the question. Well, I don't know. There's several different ways to handle that. There's always, a hook in the back of the head, or a smack in the face with a rod, or, oops, I didn't mean to push you out of the boat, or, just some of those different type techniques. Maybe try a larger hook, maybe a 1/0 or a 2/0 or something, or maybe a treble, and tell him to move over. That's funny. All right. Crickwater Crappie Company says, caught about 30 in a couple hours yesterday under deep docks, but sitting about 8 feet deep. A lot of shorts, but a few 12 inchers too. Yeah, so fish will stay shallow in the summer, guys. Yes. Sorry. I got multiple lines of chat going on here. I got chat on StreamYard on YouTube, and I got chat on my phone. So, sorry. All right. So they will stay shallow, especially under docks, because let me tell you, fish are looking for cooler water. They're looking for shade. And under docks, they find cooler water and shade. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Docks are their own ecosystem. A dock is its own ecosystem. They have docks, the dock poles and the floats for docks grow algae. Okay, microorganisms live and feed on the algae. Bait fish feed on the microorganisms and the algae. I don't know if anybody's done this before, but I have. Crappie feed on the bait fish and on the algae. I've caught crappie that literally have had in their gills, have had algae stuck on their gills. A lot of times there's snails in the algae. Fish will feed on them. And like I said, the fish will feed on the algae, the bait fish, and then of course larger fish feed on the small fish and bait fish. So docks are their own ecosystem, and they'll hold fish all year round. They're a great place to start on any lake. If you go to a new body of water, anytime I go to a new body of water, if there's docks on it, I'm starting there. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to find brush around docks because let's face it, fishermen buy houses on the lake all the time. And they like to put brush out around their docks so they can catch fish. It's pretty simple. So that's typically where I start on any new body of water is docks. And in the summer, they still hold fish. Oh, let's see here. I have an Elite TI9 and live scope on the bow with a hook 7 on the dash. Going to replace the hook 7, what would you go with? I have the NEMA system, but the hook is not compatible. Sean, I'll be 100% honest with you. I just moved my TI9 to the console or to the dash. Guys, I don't run another unit. I don't run a unit up front except for my live scope. My live scope is all I run on the bow of my boat. That's it. I don't mark waypoints. I don't need waypoints up there. I just don't. I don't have a need for another unit up there. It just takes up space. So I don't need standard sonar. I don't need down imaging. Down imaging really only gives you a good picture when you're moving. And if you're sitting still fishing, you don't need it. Side imaging, you don't get a very good picture unless you're moving. And I don't need that up there. So to have 2 units, if you have live scope, to have another unit on the bow of the boat, I almost think it's a waste of $600, $700, $800, $1,000, whatever it is you pay for a unit. Sean, my personal opinion, I'd move that 9 to the dash, and I'd probably leave my 7 there too. And I don't know how your transducers are set up, but I'd probably run my side imaging on the 9, and I'd run my down imaging on the 7. And that way you can utilize 2 screens. So your down imaging is going to be bigger on a 7 than it would be on a split 9. Because if you split the 9, half down imaging, half side imaging, you're going to end up with, 4.5 inches of each screen. Whereas if you put 9 inches of the side imaging and 7 inches of down imaging, it's going to be bigger, right? Or you can split your screen on the 7. Put down imaging on half the 7, put a map on the other half of the 7, and then just straight side imaging on your 9. So that would be what I would do. And then I just leave my live scope up front. Oh, Blake Hawk. Blake Hawk, what's up, asleep? Got you some garlic dipping sauce waiting. All right, guys. So August the 26th. Okay, let's talk about the live at Gunny's. August the 26th is when we are going to do the live at Gunny's in Maryville, Tennessee. It's a meet and greet live, okay? So if you guys want to come out, you want to see Wired for Crappie, you want to meet me, you want to pick some stuff up at Gunny's, see all the crappie stuff they've got in the store at the Crappie Cove. Come on out, 5:30. We're going to have a food truck out. We're going to be doing some food, some dinner. We're going to have the live show. I'm going to do the live show from Gunny's, okay? You guys can sit there, participate, watch, walk behind me, smack me in the head, whatever you guys want to do. Just be there 5:30, 26th of August, okay? And Chris from Asleep at the Reel is also going to be there, okay? He's coming in from Texas. We're going to probably fish, hopefully one evening that week. I'm going to see if I can't teach him how to catch fish. He was in the Army and all. He's kind of slow, learning curve and all. Army, Marine Corps better, hoorah. So I hope Chris is still on here. But no, Chris is coming in, and he's going to be there as well. It's just going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time. And I have challenged him, since he likes some crappie nibbles, and daggum little crappie nibbles. These right here. I got some laying around here somewhere. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Since he likes some crappie nibbles so well, we're going to have him taste test them and tell us what they taste like. I'm thinking he needs to eat at least 10. It was 1, but now I'm thinking he's got to get enough to get a good taste, right? So we're going to have him taste those. And what we may do is put little toothpicks in them and then get some garlic sauce, maybe some garlic slab sauce or something, have him dip those in. That's what Blake's talking about by his garlic dipping sauce. So we're going to get him some toothpicks, and he's going to put them in there, and he's going to dip it in that little sauce, that special sauce, and he's going to tell us what they taste like. I can tell you what they smell like, but I'm not allowed to say that word on here, so it smells like butt. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time. Like I said, Gunny's Crappie Cove, Maryville, Tennessee. Come plan to be there, 5:30, August the 26th. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you hadn't been there and seen their Crappie Cove, you got to go see it. It's all the best stuff, top of the line stuff, top notch, great prices. I talked to some guys this week that had been there, and they said, we couldn't believe the prices. I mean, the prices were great. So it's really done right. They're doing a great job. They're selling good products, so go check them out. Jack McConnell, he says, you should collab with Richard Jean, the fishing machine. Yeah, I had never tried to reach out to Richard. I do know that, he's right down the road from us. I mean, East Tennessee, Gunnersville, it's kind of northeast Alabama. Weiss and Gunnersville, we're probably only a couple hours apart. So I'm sure along this trip, along this road somewhere, we'll collab at some point. I'm sure. I don't know, but YouTubers have a weird way of finding each other. I can tell you that. YouTube as a whole is kind of like a family. We got 70 people watching right now, so that's awesome. And it just continues to grow, and you continue to reach more people, and YouTubers do the same thing, guys. Chris was Asleep at the Reel. I met him through YouTube, and I met Ken with Hook City TV. I talk to him regularly, and 3 Pound Fishing up there. Matt, I'm going to remember I'm going to butcher his name. Matt with 3 Pound Fishing. Talk to him a lot. So anyway, I mean, it is a kind of a tight knit community, and I'm sure at some point I will. Dun, dun. Guys, I think I'm way behind because I'm seeing some of your gold comments now, and I talked about that like a while ago. So thank y'all for all the comments. I appreciate it. I absolutely love getting on here and talking to you guys. It is a passion of mine to get on here and talk to y'all. So I appreciate the comments. Oh, Blake said, not your usual pink color. He's talking about my cup. Yeah, I normally have my pink cup, and I don't have my pink cup tonight. So we went the Bonehead cup. I like the Bonehead cup, I have to say. And it's heavy too. It's a heavy cup. I mean, not heavy to like wear you out heavy, but it's a really, really nice cup. I really like it. 16 ounces, so holds plenty of my sweet tea. But yeah, not my pink. And thank y'all again. The super chats that came in tonight, thank y'all so much for those. I appreciate that so much. It's a blessing to have those and to have such great people part of the channel. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. And if you have given a super chat at any time over the course of my lives, thank you again. I appreciate that very much. Or super sticker, either one. Oh, here's a good question. All right, Larry says, what's up with the bubbles? Saw many places, one stump in particular that had a steady, large stream of bubbles coming up. That's a very good question, Larry. So when you see bubbles coming up off the bottom of the lake, that's because they're generating water. That's because they're pulling water through the lake, okay? So generally when they're running the generators, you're going to see a bubble stream that comes off the lake and comes all the way up to the surface. Some people tell you, I mean, there's mixed emotions about it, I guess. Some people tell you that you can't catch fish when they're running, when bubbles are coming off the lake bed. And then some people tell you if there's bubbles coming off the lake bed, you better go fishing. So, it's one of those things. It's kind of like, nibbles. For lack of a better word. It's kind of like one of those wives' tales about nibbles. Got to have a nibble to catch crappie. We don't have to have a nibble to catch crappie. Does it help? Potentially. Yes. It adds color. It adds profile. Yes, it could potentially help. Okay. But it's not, you don't have to have it. So, if there's bubbles, I've caught fish with bubbles and without bubbles, but that's what it is. They're generating water and it's causing current to flow, and it's almost acting like a suction because they're pulling water from the dam. So it's almost like a sucking action. It's sucking air out of the bottom of the lake. I think I missed a question. Here's a question. Jack McConnell, I have one question. How do you get sponsors crappie fishing? Okay. Jack, I'll be honest with you. You don't. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. The people that sponsor me and sponsor the channel I have not contacted. I do not have a crappie fishing resume. I do not have a written resume for any type of fishing. Jack, to answer your question, you don't. You put yourself out there. Myself, I started fishing tournaments. I actually, you guys that have been part of this channel long enough know, I started East Tennessee Crappie Club 7 years ago. And when we started the club, we didn't have any sponsors. We didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody in the industry. I knew nothing about crappie fishing. Well, I knew crappie fishing. I knew nothing about the industry of crappie fishing. Okay. Through that 7 years of tournaments and fishing and talking to people and going here and going there and doing this and doing that, going to fishing shows, setting up booths. We had booths at fishing shows for the club, just talking to people. You start meeting people, you start talking to people. The next thing you know, you're getting phone calls from people that say, hey, can we help out this year? Can we do this? Can we do that? And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to, sure, why not? And then it just grows. And as your portfolio grows and you go out more and you do more things, more people see it. And it's just kind of it's a process, man, to be honest with you. You got to be able to show that you're out there, you're putting yourself out there, you have content out there, you have things going on that will help companies, will help bait companies. So, like I said, I don't have a resume and I never went and looked for anybody. I've been blessed, and that's all I can tell you. I mean, I really don't know other than that. I think I saw, did I miss a super chat, guys? I think I did. Hang on just a second. Sean, thanks for all the help. I bought a 5-gallon bucket of copper tone and plan to slay some crappie. You're welcome, Sean. You're very welcome. Thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate you very much. All right, let's run back up here. Yeah, the Blaker 777 says color's different for every lake. That's true. That's true. A lot of times you can move from lake to lake and use the same color, but a lot of times, anytime you change lake, I mean, I've seen where if you change not only lakes, but if you change from the lower end of a lake to the upper end of a lake in East Tennessee, our lakes generally on the lower end are deeper because that's closer to the dam, and the closer to the dam you go, the deeper it gets, and that's common with a lot of reservoirs that are dammed across the country. The closer you get to the lower end of the lake, the deeper it is. The further north you get to the upper end of the lake, it's shallower. A lot of times, take High Rock, for instance. High Rock Lake, on the upper end of that lake is shallow, on the lower end is your deeper water. That lake's not deep anywhere really, but it's deeper on the lower end than the upper end. The upper end, it's the Yadkin River chain is, and I think that's correct, Yadkin River. The Yadkin River chain, there is a ton of silt that comes down the Yadkin River. And on the upper end of that lake, it is dirty, and more so than anywhere else on that lake. You get to the middle of the lake, it starts getting cleaner, and then as you go down, it gets extremely clean. So, I say extremely clean compared to the upper end. None of that lake's extremely clean, but compared to the upper end, it's cleaner because there's so much silt that comes down the river. And as it works its way through the lake, that silt falls in the water and it just starts, making its way to the bottom. And a lot of the upper end of High Rock is actually silted in. So there's a lot of areas up there that used to be 5, 6, 7 foot deep that are now a foot deep because they've silted in from all the silt coming down the river. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things, guys, that can change what color bait you're catching fish on because, again, you're trying to contrast the water. So it's extremely important to just pay attention to your water clarities. If your water color changes, you may have to change color baits. You may not, but you may have to. So all things to pay attention to on the water. Jackie Jordan, still can't find B&M or ACC dock shooters. Tell me where I can call tomorrow to buy one, please. Call Crappie Cove at Gunny's. They should probably have one, I think. Dock shooters, I think they have B&M dock shooters there. Blake Hawk can probably answer that question if he's still on here. But look up Gunny's, Jackie, in Maryville, Tennessee, and give them a call tomorrow and see what they have. Blaker777 says buy an Ozark. Ozark Rods does have their dock shooter in. As a matter of fact, I got a new set of dock shooters in this week. So I know they have them because I broke mine. I'm about to break another one on the ceiling. But I got my 6-foot dock shooters in this week. That is I need to turn it around. That is the Ozark Pro Series dock shooter. It is a 6-foot one piece. So you guys have seen that before. I love that handle because it's so short. I love that cork handle, and I love that I can have this thing in my hand and I can get direct contact to the rod blank. Okay, so I can fish and have direct contact to my rod blank, feeling that bite. Okay, so I absolutely love that rod for that purpose. Because of the short handle. So when you're shooting docks, you guys know when you're bent over and you're trying to shoot like this and you're coming in and out all day long, a long handle back here, especially with a jacket on, will get hung constantly. And you'll constantly be doing this right here, trying to chicken wing it so that you can get around your jacket. With this little short handle on the back, okay, you can move around, you can move in and out. I mean, I'm not a big guy, and that doesn't even come down to my elbow. So it comes about halfway down my forearm. It's a very, very nice handle, very good rod, sensitive, but it also has some backbone too. And when you're dock shooting, you need something that's got some backbone to it. This rod has got some backbone, okay? It's got some flex in it, obviously. I mean, it's a dock shooter. It's got to have some flex, but it is extremely fast. All right, that rod is extremely fast. When you let go of that jig, it's gone. But it's got the backbone where you can pull those fish out from under that dock. And a lot of times, especially if you're fishing docks like we fish down here that are not floating, they actually have poles under them. You've got to manhandle some of those fish, and you've got to yank them out from under that dock. So that allows you to do that. So yeah, Jackie, try that Ozark. I know they have them. And one of those has braid on it, so 2 of them are going to have mono, one's going to have braid. I'm still playing with the braid. Josh Sanders says he bought the 6-foot Ozark. Try it out. Love the ACCs. Recently just got fully loaded, 8 across the front tight lining, 14 footers. Tress Beasley checking in from Southern Middle Tennessee. Finally get to tune in live. Usually have to listen a bit at a time through the week. Busy. Well, I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad you got to catch us live. Welcome. I'm glad I finally get to say welcome to you. Welcome to the Wired fam, and I'm glad you got to join live. Jimmy Pratt, hello, sir. Glad you're here. Let's see here. Josh Sanders has a thought. Let's see. What's your thought, Josh? Just a thought for the live at Gunny's. I know there's going to be food, but masks will be a good idea, especially if your son is high risk. Sorry, the pharmacist healthcare in me is coming out. Yeah, it is, Josh. Josh, for sake of not getting flagged, I'm not going to answer that one. YouTube's got this funny thing about what you can and can't discuss or what they approve and don't approve. So I'm going to leave that one alone. But yeah. Sid Lewis, Jackson, Mississippi. Sid, I'm a little jealous, first of all. Thanks for joining us. And yep, I'm a little jealous. Mississippi has got some giants, the big three, if you will. And I'm a little jealous, But I'm going to make it there one day. I've got all these big plans. Let's just hope they come to fruition. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. But glad you're with us, buddy. Stephen Webb says, where can I catch crappie? The lake. That's short answer. I got a long answer. Stephen, I don't know, buddy. Where are you fishing at? Tell me where you're trying to fish at. I mean, I don't want to tell you how to catch fish on Chickamauga if you're fishing Cherokee. So I don't know. Where are you fishing at, Stephen? Mike Keene, need to get you down to Texas. Fish with Sergeant Ken on Lake of the Pines. I need to get down there. I mean, there's some giant fish in Texas, guys. If you guys hadn't seen some of the fish that they're pulling out of those Texas lakes, it's ridiculous. It's insane. I got to get down there at some point. And I've got I've got some friends in Texas. I've got, of course, Chris and Ken but I grew up in Southeast Texas. I lived down there for 6 years when I was younger. And I'll go back to go fishing, but I ain't going back any other time than that because it's hotter than crap down there in the summer. So I don't know how y'all live in Southeast Texas or Southern Texas or anywhere in Texas for that matter. It's hot. I mean, it's hot. I mean, it's hot in the winter. I do remember there was an ice storm that came through Southeast Texas when I lived down there, though. That was pretty cool. Well, I say it's pretty cool. We were out of power for because they're not equipped to deal with that. We were out of power for, it was insane. It's like 5 days we were out of power. It was incredible. But yeah, I need to get down there sometime or another. Jimmy says, push him in. That goes back to my earlier comment. I am way behind tonight, guys. You guys are wearing it out. Thank you very much for the comments. That's funny. Sleep said, hit him with the anchor. That goes back to the comment about how to get Jimmy out of the way so you can actually go fishing. Hit him with the anchor. That always gets him to move. I don't have an anchor in my boat, so I couldn't hit him with an anchor. I hadn't had an anchor in my boat in, I don't know, 2-3 years probably. Jimmy said, y'all be nice to Jimmy. Food always works. Throw him a candy bar. Or a peanut butter sandwich. Hey, I'm telling you, throw Jimmy a peanut butter sandwich. He's good to go. Dustin has a question. Dustin asks, are you using a 0 degree mount for your live scope transducer on the pole? So actually, that's a very good question, Dustin. The mount that I use is indeed a 0 degree, yes. But I use the transom mount that comes with your live scope, okay? Or with your, with your live scope transducer. I actually use the transom mount, okay? So it's the metal bracket, the metal transom mount for the transducer. So on a fishing specialties pole, there is a round puck that goes on the bottom of the pole. So you got your pole and you got, well, that's not going to work very well, is it? You got your pole and then you got this round puck that's underneath it. And I know that's not round, but anyway. And then the transducer bracket mounts underneath it. So I use the transom mount and the transducer just screws right to it and it is 0 degrees. Okay. But I like being able to use that transom mount for multiple reasons. One, the mount that twists comes loose. I hadn't seen one yet that if you tighten it and click it, it gets a little loose because it turns that bolt. So with my transom mount, that metal transom mount, it doesn't come loose, period. I can still loosen the bolts and turn it down if I want to. But it's a transom mount, so it bolts and it's very, very steady. I never use down view. I always use forward view because you can see right underneath you. I don't need down view really, but or I don't use it. I shouldn't say I don't need it, but I don't use it. So that's how I have mine set up. You can go watch my live scope pole video and it'll show you exactly how I set it up, but that's what I use. How would you use the go-to function for my XI5 without a unit on front? I don't know. That's a good question, Sean. But does the XI5? I guess the XI5 connects to your unit, and you could always run a cable to the. You could always run a cable to the console. If it connects to the unit, if that's how it knows the waypoints, remembers the waypoints. I mean, if it works through your unit, just run it to the console. Just get you an extension cable and run it to the console. That's what I would do. Or you could always put your waypoints on your Garmin and plug your XI5 into your Garmin unit. If your Garmin unit has mapping. Some of the Garmin units that run LiveScope don't have mapping. So I don't know. Without knowing everything that's set up on your boat, I don't know. But those are a couple options for you. It's a good question. Jimmy says, Matt, how do you talk your wife into letting you spend the money for the live scope? Jimmy, my wife's probably watching right now, so I'm not going to answer that question. Well, I don't know. I don't know, Jimmy. I really don't. I can't answer that. I choose not to self-incriminate. How's that? How's that? Does she eat fish? Mine doesn't eat fish, so that didn't work. But does she eat fish? More fish to eat. I don't know. I don't know, buddy. I really don't. Good luck. I will say that. Good luck. I'm blessed with a loving, beautiful, understanding, caring, supportive wife. That's exactly how I got one, because my wife likes to see me happy, loves me, and understands. She's just understanding. And I don't know. I really don't. I'm stumped. You stumped me. All right, live over. I'm stumped. All right, asleep. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not even gonna go there. Mike Keen, good question about the 0 degree. I will elaborate on the 0 degree. Let me explain to you guys why people are using the 0 degree and not the 7 degree or 8 degree that comes with the unit. So if you mount your live scope on your trolling motor, you have to use the 7 degree offset or 8 degree offset. If you do not use the offset, okay, what is going to happen is when you mount your transducer above your trolling motor, it's going to pick up the trolling motor. You have to use, if it's coming straight down this trolling motor shaft, it's going to grab the bottom of the trolling motor. You have to use the 8 degree offset so that it shoots beside the trolling motor. With a pole, you do not have to use the offset transducer. Now, why is it better to use the 0 degree? Because if you're fishing in water deeper than 10 feet, 10 feet or less, it doesn't really matter. But if you're fishing in water deeper than 10 feet, let's say you've got your transducer pointed directly down my nose, if I can do this without, backwards camera. If I got that transducer pointed straight down my nose with an 8 degree offset and my jig starts falling and I see my jig falling and I've got to let that jig fall 15 to 20 feet down, that transducer offset, when my jig, let's do it this way, that transducer's offset, my jig starts right here in the transducer. By the time it falls 15 feet down, it's not getting picked up by the transducer, okay? Because it's offset. So as it falls, you're going to lose picture of your jig. I talk to a ton of people. I don't see my jig fall. Why don't I see my jig fall? Get in your boat, jig falls. I don't see my jig fall. I see it at the top, or I see it in the middle, or I see it when it gets down to 15 feet, but I don't see it fall. And it's like, okay, what are you using on? Are you using a pole, or are you using it on your trolling motor? What's on my trolling motor? I said, well, you've got to turn your trolling motor. When that jig gets to 10 feet, you better be bumping your trolling motor over if you want to continue to see that jig. All right. Or if they're using a pole, I'll say, do you have the 0 degree transducer mount? No. Okay, that's your problem. Or if your pole's facing here, as your jig falls, you better bump your pole just a little bit. You don't have to bump it a lot, but you got to keep bumping it, because when you get 15 or 20 feet deep, you're going to lose your jig. Now, you might not lose a fish because a fish is a little bit bigger, but you'll lose that 16th ounce jig every time. So that's the purpose of that's why everybody's talking about the 8 degree and 0 degree. But very good question, Mike. All right, Terry. Terry says Marines are slow. Guys, Marines run every morning. We're pretty fast. Used to be. I quit running a long time ago. I ran enough. Oh, Chris. Matt Scotch says, I ate a whole jar of crappie nibbles and still didn't catch any. Well, if you ate a whole jar of these, God bless you. First of all, and maybe you should have peed on your jig. I don't know. But these things are nasty. They smell horrible. If you guys have these in the boat, God, smell them. Chris is going to eat one. It's going to be so fun to watch him eat them too. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Ooh, raw. This is what I'm talking about right here. See, I'll put this one up there. Army guys couldn't find the front lines if a Marine hadn't done the work and built them a road so they could be pampered getting there. Amen. Ooh, raw, semper fi. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm going to leave it at that. I can't say it any better myself. In case you guys hadn't caught it, there's this thing, Army, Marines, Air Force. You know, we all get on each other. We all go back and forth. A lot of fun. All right, Blake says he has both. I think that's both. Both, maybe. Jackie Gunnies in Maryville, Crappie Cove. They have B&M in stock. No Ozarks or ACCs yet, but they have B&Ms, Jackie. So if you're looking for a B&M, contact Gunnies in Maryville, Tennessee. Tell them you would like a B&M Sharpshooter 6 out of the Crappie Cove. They'll hook you up. Oh. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate the super chat, buddy. That was just so I would put that up there, isn't it, bud? Yeah, I hear you. This channel is biased to one service. Shame on you. I am not biased to one service. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for saying that. No, definitely not at all. Everyone in the military is my brothers and sisters. There's no doubt about that. So. You want to talk about a tight-knit family. That's as tight as it gets right there. But yes, I am. The Marines are the best, Chris. God. Isn't that what they tell you? Didn't they tell you Army was the best in boot camp? Isn't that the going rate? How to be a singer. Cows start meowing and stuff when I start singing. And I think he did that just to mess me up because he knew I had to scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen. And now I got to go back and find my way again. It's like getting lost in the woods. You know, you kind of mill your way around and you go, oh, that kind of looks familiar. No, maybe not. Oh, yeah. There it is. Okay. You know, it takes you a minute. Fishing with Camo Joe, Fluger Try-On. Yes, that is the reel that I prefer. Let me grab that again. So you guys have heard me mention it on the channel a lot of times probably. I prefer a Fluger Try-On. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get a deal on them. I paid $25.99 for these just like you guys do. Actually, they went up to, I think, $27.99. I buy my Fluger Try-Ons from Glenn's Army Navy store because I'm not biased to one service. So I buy it from the Army Navy store, Glenn's Army Navy store, Chris. Online, if you put Glenn's Army Navy store in, great people, great people. I remember the first time I ordered, it's because I found them there online. They were the cheapest. They had them on sale, and I bought the Fluger. It's a size 25, by the way, size 25 Fluger Try-On. I bought them from Glenn's Army Navy store, and I think I bought 10. I bought 8 or 10. I don't remember. And then I called back probably, 2-3 months later and bought another couple because I wanted to change a couple more rods out. I have a rod problem, so I have a lot of rods. And my phone just went off. That was Chris. So anyway, I called him back and I said, hey, this is Matt. I ordered some Try-Ons probably, a couple months ago or whatever. And, here's my address, my name. I'd like to get a couple more. I paid X amount of dollars for them. Do you still have the special? And they said, oh, no, that was actually an old model. They came out with a new model. It's got a little bit of different, some of the chroming and stuff was a little different. It was the same reel, just a little different model. Something they can, put it out there and people go, oh, that's new. Cool. I want those. Anyway, they said, we've got all your information here. Don't worry about it. We'll match that price and we'll send you the new ones. Don't worry about it. And how many you want? And I told them, and they're like, we got all your information. Just give us your card number because we don't store that, but we store all our customers. They were really great, really, really great people. So yeah, I will always and forevermore buy my Fluger Try-Ons from them as long as they don't jack the price to the moon, because they're very, very good people and good service. And good people, good service means everything to me. I can tell you that right now, because I've been places that don't have good people and good service, and it hurts. All right. So anyway, buy mine, Fluger Try-On, size 25, Glenn's Army Navy store. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. And I have some that have been on my rods now for 2 years. And you guys know I fish a lot. I'm on the water every single week using these rods. And I'm shooting docks and casting brush. And this right here is happening a lot. Okay. This is when I burn a reel out. This is generally where I burn it out, is right here. Okay, I burn it out right here. All right, that's where I generally burn a reel out, is in the bail, and those have held up really, really well. Michael says he got a 7-foot Ozark. It's a one-piece rod too. Yes, there is a 7-foot Ozark dock shooter. For me and my liking, my taste, I don't prefer the 7-footer because it's got a thicker barrel. The rod blank is thicker and it's almost bordering too thick. I feel like it's a little beefy for me, but there again, it is a good rod. It's just my personal liking. But yeah, the 7-footer is good too. Sean Mitchell, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. Stick to the fishing, not the singing, I'm assuming. So I will stick to the fishing. I promise you guys, I will stick to the fishing. I'll continue to put some good content out there for y'all. Thank you, Sean, for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. Very, very, very much. Yeah, I promise I'll stick to the fishing. Keith asks, any advice on hard baits or crankbaits for crappie? Yes, I do. I prefer, let me try to take this down without messing up my arrowhead. I got my arrowhead right there. If you guys didn't see that arrowhead that Buck Chaser made me, Look at that thing right there. Isn't that cool? And that's actual stone, and it's sharp too. I mean, if you were to put an arrow on that and shoot it through a bow, I guarantee you'd kill something. I mean, that is just too cool. So anyway, I like it. I keep it right there. I'm gonna put it back up here without breaking it. There we go. All right. Crankbaits for crappie. The way I run my crankbaits, Keith, I run them with a 2 ounce inline weight. So I've got a 2 ounce inline weight. I've got about a 2 or 3 foot leader, somewhere right around there, from the weight to the crankbait. And what that allows you to do, first of all, with an inline weight, is I can run any crankbait at any depth I want to run it at. If I want to run them at 2 feet, I can run them at 2 feet. If I want to run them at 22 feet, I can run them at 22 feet. Because that inline weight is what's going to hold the bait down. So I like to run an Arky crankbait. It is a 220 is the size, Arky 220. And I know it says right here it dives, so it's on this side, dives 2 to 6 feet. But there again, with a 2 ounce inline weight, I can run them at whatever depth I want to run them at. I prefer the 220 over the 330. There's a 220 and a 330. The 330 is the same size as a Bandit 300. The 220 is probably closer to the Bandit 100s. It's a small crankbait with a small lip, but it catches a lot of fish. I prefer this size crankbait when I'm running the crankbaits for crappie. But there again, we don't have as many of those 2.5 pound, 3 pound fish like people in Mississippi and Texas. And I don't know if you could run them in Texas. There's a lot of timber in Texas, but there's a lot of timber down in Mississippi too. And I guess they run them down there. Well, no, there's not a whole lot of timber. Not as much as Texas. Texas has a lot of timber in it. I know Arkansas has a lot of timber. But anyway, that's what I prefer to run. Great crankbaits. They come out of the box. They run true, or out of the pack. They run true, and they've got great hooks on them. So they come with red bleeding hooks. I don't know if you guys, it's kind of fuzzy that close up, but they come with red bleeding hooks, and they're sharp right out of the box. I mean, those hooks right there are sharp right out of the box. They're packaged. So good baits, and they're cheap. I'm cheap. So where a Bandit crankbait is going to run you $6, $7, some people charge $8 for them. Get these from Arky.com, Arky Jigs or Arky Lures. I think it's Arky, one of the two. ArkyJigs.com or ArkyLures.com, one of the two. A $2.25 for each crankbait, so it's very, very cheap. Doesn't hurt as bad when you break one off in a brush pile. Trent says, you got my cup. Mine will be here Friday. Well, mine's here. I love it. I like the cups for sure. And I'm almost out of sweet tea. So I don't know. I need a sweet tea refill. If my wife's listening and she loves me, she'll bring me a sweet tea. We'll see if she's watching. Sid Lewis is catching lots of big crappie on Ross Burnett Reservoir. Come on over. The water is great. Lots of laughs. I would love to. I'm glad you're catching big ones. So you're using braid to shoot docks some now. What pound and braid? No, I'm not using, Ronnie, I'm not using braid to shoot docks. I'm using braid to fish brush a little bit, but not to shoot docks. The thing is braid just doesn't come off the spool as well as mono. So I feel like I lose distance when I'm shooting docks with braid. You can shoot docks with braid. It will work. I just feel like I'm losing distance because you can literally feel the braid coming off the spool. whereas mono, you can't feel it. It comes off the spool so much smoother. So no, I'm not using braid to shoot docks. It is on my dock shooters because I use the same 6-foot dock shooter to fish brush that I use to shoot docks. Same rod. A 6-foot rod is a multi-purpose rod, guys. You can cast with it, you can shoot docks with it, you can vertical jig with it, especially this time of year when the fish are deep. You can get right over top of them. It doesn't spook them. So I try to use a 6-foot, or I do use a 6-footer pretty much all year round, and catch fish. I mean, if I find fish that are shallow, I'll cast to them instead of getting right over top of them. So I like to cast my jigs because I like to work a bait. I don't want it just sitting dead still in the water and only being able to move it up and down. I want to be able to cast it out there and work that jig back. I want to do, a bump pause or a swim and fall or just a slow, steady retrieve, depending on the day, they may want it different ways. So, but no, I do not use braid to shoot docks. I see Mr. George Hamby. Hello, George. How's it going? He said his friend's targeting 2-pound fish in Mississippi on Grenada. I'd like to try that lake out too. I'm going to eventually. Dustin Shepard says, good idea. I'm going to give that mount a shot. Thanks. You're welcome, sir. If you buy a Fishing Specialties pole, Dustin, use the discount Wired. They'll give you 10% off, okay? 10% off at Fishing Specialties on that pole. Oh, man, my wife just stepped around here. I thought I was about to get more sweet tea. She must not be listening. Or she was listening, and she's bringing it. I don't know. That'll yet to be seen. So Jimmy says, yes, she does eat fish, my comment earlier, and having it installed this week. So did that comment work, or does she not know it's being installed yet? Because you asked how to explain it to her, and now you're telling me it's being installed. So is this a forgiveness, not permission, or did the more fish to eat comment work? I don't know. Happy wife, happy day of fishing. Yeah. Fishing with Camo Joe. I didn't know Crappie Magnet made nibbles or slab bites. Yep, they do. So Crappie Magnet has what they call a slab bite. And the Crappie Magnet slab bites, guys, if you're going to use nibbles, they will actually stay on a hook a little bit better. They're actually a little denser. They're a little bit firmer. And they will actually stay on the hook a little bit better, okay? So give them a shot. I mean, they smell horrid, but, at least they stay on the hook a little bit better. So try them out. They're a good product for what they are. I mean, they really are. I don't know what the price point is on them. I don't remember what I paid for them. Nope. I don't see a tag on them either. So I don't know, but they work really well. I will say that. So they're a good product. Terry Landry says, good night, everyone. Matt, great show. Lots of good information. Good night, Terry. You're welcome, sir. All right, so Larry says, put K9 Fluoro from Crappie Cove on my 10-foot Ozark and jams up occasionally, not completely jammed up, but enough that it won't smoothly pitch. Not every pitch. Am I doing something wrong? No, you're not, Larry. Any line, especially shooting docks or pitching, is going to occasionally get there's memory to the line. So every once in a while, you're going to get, some type of it's not really a backlash. It's just it's where your line kind of jumps over itself or curls over itself. And a lot of times it'll get on your reel or somewhere up your rod or something. Sometimes you'll reel it back up and not notice it. And then the next time it makes it difficult to pitch or cast. So what I typically do is throughout the day, let's say I move from one spot to another, I will make a good long cast as far out as I can, and then I'll just reel that bait back real quick. I'll let it sink so that there's some tension on the line, and then I'll reel it back onto the rod real quick with that tension on it. And that just kind of gets everything lined back up, but especially shooting docks. If you're shooting docks a lot during the day, between every dock, you need to make a good long cast and just put the line back on the reel right, because shooting docks, when you're skipping that bait, a lot of times you shoot underneath the dock and it hits the water that first skip. Your line's coming off so fast. When it hits that water, the bait slows down, but the line keeps coming out. So after doing that a little bit, you're gonna get some bird nests. You just got to remember to try to make those long casts during the day and get that line back on the reel right. Let's see. Ronnie Harris, what pound mono or braid do you, and braid? The mono I use is 4-pound Vicious. That's 4-pound test. High vis. Golly, that was bright. Jesus. High vis. Definitely high vis. 4-pound Vicious. I use it because, again, this is a 3,000 yard spool. It's 9,000 feet of line. And I get it for about what? $7, $8, I think it is. A lot of times you can buy it a lot of different places. You can buy it from Vicious. You can buy it from Rural Kings have them. I don't know if everybody has a Rural King or not, but Rural King has it. You can buy them online too at Rural King. You can buy it at Grizzly Jig. You can buy it a lot of different places. So Crappie Cove, you can buy it, buy it a lot of different places, and it's cheap. It's $7, $8 for a spool. And I can re-spool rods 3 times a month like I do, 2 or 3 times a month anyway, like I do, and it doesn't kill your pocketbook. Now, braid, on the other hand, braid's not cheap. So I use a Bonehead braid. This is the Bonehead B-Power braid. It is 12-pound braid, and this is high-vis orange. And then I also have 12-pound Bonehead high-vis yellow. So that's high-vis yellow, 12-pound braid. I hadn't seen a difference in the yellow and the orange. I did have one viewer ask me or tell me that he seemed to have bluegill that would hit the orange line. They'd strike his line. The bluegill would peck at it because it was orange. I haven't seen that yet. I've fished a lot of bluegill and hadn't had them hit the line yet, but not to say they won't. I just hadn't seen that personally yet. And I really like the 12-pound braid. I really like the Bonehead braid. The 12-pound is the same line diameter as a 4-pound test mono, so it's thin, but it's super, super strong. And you got to be careful with it though, because you'll pull a brush pile off the bottom of the lake if you're not careful. Oh no! I hope I didn't get you in trouble, Jimmy. Ooh, if I did though, let me know, because that's funny. I guess that was your way of telling her, is putting it on my live. I don't know. I hope she listened to my comment about my wife being so understanding and so loving and caring, and I hope that she thought, well, that's true. Maybe I should just be loving and caring and understanding in this moment and not kill Jimmy, and it's going to be okay because I'm going to get to eat crappie, so that's good. Okay then. Well, if anybody else wants me to break any news to their wives, I guess let me know. I don't know. I guess we'll just have a live show of breaking news to wives. I don't know. That's pretty funny. Mike asks Matt, can you use the Helm feature on Active Captain on the Echo Map 93? You can use it, but you can't record. And I caution everyone on Active Captain, because a lot of the issues that you're seeing with LiveScope are because of the Active Captain app. Because people are trying to download their updates and things through Active Captain, and it's not coming through well through the app, and they're missing bits and pieces, and it's messing their units up. So if you're going to do an update on your units, go online, download the update to a card, put the card in your unit, and go through the process. But you need to contact Garmin and figure out the correct process, because there's some tricks and tips, go figure, with updating your unit. And I can go into more detail on that if you guys need me to. But for sake of saving time, I'm not going to go through it right now. Blake Hawk says good night. Good night, Blake. David, I will shoot you an email. Thank you for your email. I'll shoot you one. Oh, Ashley, I am a used fish finder and side imaging maniac. So if I gave out all my good sources, then I might not get the ones I want. Good used units are kind of hard to come by. And as you guys know, I like the Gen 1, the Lowrance HDS Gen 1s. I just love them. And yeah, it's no secret. I mean, Facebook, Lowrance, there's some forums, or not forums, but groups. There's Lowrance groups. There's a Hummingbird and Lowrance group. There's, Marketplace. You can generally find some good ones on there. Sometimes you can find some good deals on eBay. You just got to be careful on eBay. Anytime you buy anything online, guys, please use PayPal. If you're using or use some type of payment option that allows you protection if you're buying units online, because if you get something that is advertised it works and it doesn't, you can always go back, or if you pay somebody and they don't ever send it to you, which there's a lot of There's a lot of things out there, a lot of people out there that say, hey, you know, I paid this guy, he told me he had a Helix 7 and there was a Gen 3 and Mega and blah, blah, blah. And I paid him, it was a good deal, and then I never got it. So you kind of do have to watch some of that. You know, you'll be fine as long as you use a payment option that allows you protection. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I find mine. Let's see. There's some online forums, Ashley, that you can generally look and find some good deals. Crappie.com. Some of the bass forums, some of the different bass like Bass Boat Electronics forums. There is a Bass Boat Electronics in Louisville that a lot of times he'll have used units. He has people trade them in, so you can check out bassboatelectronics.com. But it's hit or miss, Ashley. And then there's a blue million different places you can look. You just kind of have to weed through everything that you don't want to try to find what you do want. So. 903 Fishing, what's going on? Yeah, Steven. Steven wants to know, can you show us how close to the lip you spool your line on a fresh spool up? Sure, absolutely. Hang on just a second. So this is not exactly a fresh spool up, but see if I can get it to where you guys can see it. That's the key. Can you guys see that right there? So that's about where I spool mine up to. I generally will not exceed that lip right in here. So there's actually not this lip that's on the outside right here. There's actually a secondary lip on the inside of that bevel that you probably can't see, but I won't exceed that. So it's kind of hard with my computer, but that's where I like to spool mine up to. The amount of line, as long as you have a decent amount of line on your reel, it's going to come off fine. I do not over spool mine, because if you over spool them, it's just going to all butterfly off there. So I always try not to over spool them. I'd rather under spool than over spool, because you're going to put plenty of line on that reel for what we do. I mean, unless you're long line trolling and you're putting 150 feet of line at the back, I mean, you're generally not casting or shooting more than 50 or 60 feet at the most. So unless you're Wally Marshall, and then he says he can shoot a 16th ounce or 32nd ounce jig 84 feet back in a dock. Well, if he can do that, by golly, I want to see what he's using. Because 84 feet or 74 feet or whatever he said on one video I watched was like, okay. And putting it on a little motorboat and driving it back there. I think that'll be next. We use little remote control motorboats and just drive it back in a dock and just flip a button and it'll pitch it out over the side. If anybody patents that, I want in on it. Mike Dixon says, just want to use my iPad as a second monitor. That's what I do. I use my iPad and I put my Navionics map, and I use it as a third monitor, but I put my Navionics map on it. When I'm going out to look for stuff, Mike, that's what I do. I use that because it'll follow you around, the GPS will. And you got your contour lines. That's what I use it for, contour lines to follow myself around. Depends on what lake you're on, Jimmy. Could be 6 feet, could be 16 feet. Just depends on the time of year. I wouldn't eliminate anything. I'd look at everything. Steven, another great live tonight. Thanks, Matt. You're welcome, Steven. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. It's a blessing. I appreciate the super chat. I promise it'll go back to crappie fishing. It'll go back into me putting out great content for you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the super chat, Steven. Let's see here. Slab Buster RTR, what's going on? How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Glad you could join us. A little late on the come in, I guess, but better late than never, my friend. Glad you're here. Michael asks, do you know a good mount for an iPad for your boat? Lost one in the lake already. Yeah, mine actually lays on my dash perfect, but I can't remember where the one I have come from. I want to say it was a Ram. I want to say I got a Ram mount that my iPad went in that actually had a clamp on it. It clamped onto my windshield. Check Ram mounts out. See if you can find one there, Michael. I can't remember exactly where I got mine at. Sean Mitchell says, good night, everyone. 903 asks, is that a try-on? Yes, it's a try-on. I just went through that earlier. You can watch a little bit earlier in the live. I went through the try-ons and where I get them from. Great reel. Love the try-on. I prefer the try-on over the President because of cost point. So I feel like they last just as long, and I don't pay twice the price for them. Slab Buster RTR, 84 feet hum. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't either. I saw it in one of his videos. It was rather 74 or 84. Maybe it's 72. I don't remember. 70 something or 80 something feet. He said, I can get so many 75 feet back under this dock. And I'm like, no, you can't. Ain't nobody shooting no 32nd ounce jig got far under no dock. It ain't happening. Unless you've got some kind of serious line butter that I don't know about, and you've only got two eyes on your rod, I don't know about that. There's a long way. Matt Scotch says Wally can shoot one over those mountains. Yeah, right. Yeah, I hear you. Slab Buster says, yeah, I'm late to been busy, almost forgot tonight. Well, hey, you're here. That's all that matters, buddy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're with us. And we're still going strong. Robert Johnson, still working on the new trolling motor. Thanks for your time and information. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. Actually, I had another viewer sent me a trolling motor today that a guy was trying to sell. It was a used motor. It was an Ultrex. It had a 52-inch shaft, which a 52 I can work with. It's not ideal, but I can make it work. And it had the US2 in it. It was a 2480. And I contacted him and I said, hey, I'm interested in the motor. He was at work, I was at work, and we're supposed to talk about it a little bit more. So thank you, Robert. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the super chat. It's a blessing to me, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Asleep said, I can shoot 94 feet all day. I'm going to leave that one alone because I had a good comment for that, but I'm going to leave it alone. I messed with you enough tonight. I'm going to let you have that one. I'm going to let you walk away from this one unscathed. And he says that's a joke for everybody. So, it is a joke. Trent, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Trent. Very, very, very much. Thank you. I shot so many ducks this week, I couldn't walk the next day. Yes, shooting ducks will wear your hamstrings out. I mean, when I go for a full day of duck shooting, the next probably 3 days, I'm sore as crap. Standing up and sitting down, I am sore. It's the closest thing to bass fishing without bass fishing that I've ever done. It's crazy. So yeah, you'll get a workout. There's no doubt about that. But thank you so much for the super chat, Trent. I appreciate it very, very much. Slapbuster RTR says, I'm in Abu Garcia, Abu. Isn't that the monkey off Aladdin? Abu? I think it is. Or Abu. I think it's Abu. Anyway, I don't know why that popped into my head. You can tell I got young kids because I'm always in Disney. I don't know. I don't know. I'm in Disneyland. I'm in Abu Garcia. Abu Garcia, I'm going to get it right. Cardinal SX10 man myself. I have several. They don't wear out. Yeah, they're good reels too, if I could say their name. I don't know how long you've had them. I've had some of my try-ons for several years, and they don't wear out too much either. They're very, very good reels. And for the price point, like I said, at $26, $27, if one wears out in 2 years, I've got that much money out of it. I really have. So I'm okay with it. I like them. They're great reels. They don't gum up. They don't freeze up. They don't knock on wood. Golly, anything can break. But yeah, I just had the Abu Garcias. I said it right. I hadn't played with very much, so that's just what I prefer. What I use. Ashley, I'm sure you guys seen Ashley's comment. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but that's a pretty good one. All right, I think I've caught up, guys. I finally caught you guys. So I think we're going to call it tonight. I appreciate everybody for watching. I appreciate everything y'all have done for the channel. I thank you for all the super chats tonight. Like I said, they're a blessing, and I don't take it lightly. I appreciate each and every one of them. And I appreciate each and every person for being here tonight. I appreciate you all. It's because of you guys I can do what I'm doing. If it wasn't for y'all and it wasn't for your questions and for everyone coming to the channel and wanting to learn something and ask questions, then the Q&A would really just be Matt talking about crappie. It really wouldn't be a Q&A. So thank y'all again for coming, asking questions. I appreciate it. Remember, Jimmy, as you lay down tonight, make sure you lock the knife drawer, put the pans away, any blunt objects in the bedroom, make sure those are hidden. Enjoy your live scope when you get it. If you make it to then, I hope your wife's not too mad at me for breaking the bad news over my live, but hey, if that's the way we got to do it, I guess that's the way we got to do it. So anyway, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. Watch out for the video coming this week. We're going to go back to crappie fishing. We're not going to go trout fishing again. We'll go back to doing some crappie fishing. I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to catch a lot of fish. Probably going to try to hit a new lake this weekend. New lake for the channel anyway. So Check it out. Be watching for it. And I appreciate y'all again. Thank you very much, and have a good night. God bless.